Guys, welcome to today's video and to my channel if you're new here. I'm Debbie, if we've not met before, hello. And we're going to be doing a 3 looks 1 palette with this palette today. It's by Lois Cosmetics and it's the Rogue palette. Done a first impressions, which I'll leave linked in the cards for you. And I've also done a 3 looks 1 palette with their other palette, which is the Rose Metal. So we'll link that as we go along as well if you want to check that out. But today's all about this palette. So if you're not familiar with the shades in the palette, this is it. It's super colourful, really beautiful colour story. So I'm going to not mess about, I'm going to hop straight into the looks. I'm wearing the 3rd look right now, but you'll see how I create this one and 2 more very different looks with this palette, and then I'll catch up with you at the end with some thoughts on the palette overall and the shades that I used. Okay, so let's just hop straight into look number 1. One then, I've already primed with the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Chantilly, and I've not set that. And then the shades we're going to use today are going to be the turquoises and purples in the palette. Probably not the pressed glitter, I'm not a pressed glitter fan, but I'm going to be circling around that and using these shades today. So I'm going to start in the inner corner with the shade Underdog. I've got a Morphe M506 and I'm just going to be building that up in the crease. The inner part of the crease there. So just keeping that a little bit higher than my natural crease. Want lots of space for those shimmers because the shimmers in this Gone Rogue palette are just so beautiful. Or the one I used in my first impressions, which is Outside the Box, is really impactful, so I'm hoping the others will be the same. So to start with, I'm just trying to get maximum pigmentation before I worry too much about blending out. Gone in with the concealer base today just to see how much colour payoff I get with that, because I used the Walk in My Shoes shade, which is the yellow shade, in my first impressions and didn't get a maximum amount of payoff from that. Can't remember the base I used. It was probably by MAC Paint Pot in Painterly, and kind of stopped using that just lately and experimenting with some different bases. I'm not having any troubles with the pigmentation there. Got another one of the same Morphe M506 brushes, and I'm going to go into the shade Misfit now for the centre part of my crease. And again, I'm just going to lay that down to start with. That's a pretty colour, I like that one. I love the blend I'm getting between the 2 of those. That was easy to achieve, and it's almost like imperceptible there. It just kind of flows from one to the other, which is really pretty. Just clean that off on a makeup towel. I'm going to go into Non-Conformist now, the deepest shade for the outer part. And I'm going to just wing that out just a slight amount there. Take my time building that shade up so I can get it precisely where I want it. Bring this out kind of cut crease style. I will brush with no product, and I'm just going to be softening the edges there. There's no blending shade for these shades in the palette, but I'm just literally going to be softening the edges there. And these do blend and blur really easily actually, so it's not too difficult to achieve. Even in this difficult area in the corner that I always struggle with, it seems to be blending quite nicely actually. I'm using an E36 by Morphe, a bit smaller brush. I just want to just perfect how that's winging out, just get that a little bit of a thinner line really. Then in with NYX Glitter Primer, and I'm going to cut the entirety of my lid with that using a concealer brush from Sigma. This one is the F70. While that glitter glue is still tacky, I'm going in with Unapologetic in the inner part here. and I'm going to use I Am Free in the outer part. Just placing the colours right now, and then I'm going to blend those in the centre. Trying to keep this to a sharp line there. Where they meet, I'm just tapping over the centre. Mainly using the I Am Free shade, the turquoise shade, to do that. Just going to take a brush with no additional product just to help with that blend. Like how that's looking. Just going to repeat the same steps on the other eye, so I'm just going to whiz you through the footage for that. My waterline, I'm going in with Deep End by Urban Decay, one of the Glide On 24/7 pencils. For my lower lash line, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to go with Underdog across the whole of my lower lash line just to blend that out. I'm also blending underneath that wing that we've created there. Okay, just going to hop off for the finishing touches and I'll be back to show you look number 1. Okay guys, so here's the finished look. And I've not gone with lashes today, just lashings of Bad Girl Bang mascara and a bit of Epic Ink wing liner just to further accentuate the wing in the corner, but nothing too crazy. My highlight today has been the Lois Cosmetics highlighter in the pink shade from the Studio 54 collection. Just think it really catches the light and kind of complements this look really well. And I was thinking, what have I got lipstick wise to complement this, because there's so much going on the eyes. I decided to go with a gloss. This is a Lucid Lip from Kaleidos Makeup in the shade Crystallize. I thought it's got the blue and pink going on. It goes really nicely with the look. So I hope you enjoyed seeing look number 1 come together. Let's move on to look number 2. Okay, on to the next look then. My eyes are already primed. I've used the KVD Vegan Beauty Lock-It Concealer in Whiteout. Just wanted a nice white base to start the look, make the colours pop. We're going to use Nonconformist, we're going to use Can't Compare and Rare Treasure, so a bit of a purple and red and gold vibe to this one. Not quite sure on the placement yet, that'll probably come as we go along, but let's see what we can create. I'm quite looking forward to playing with those colours, they're kind of my kind of vibe. I love a red and gold together. So I'm going to start with Can't Compare and build that up in the front part of my crease to begin the look, and I want it quite high and kind of in that angle so that we've got an open cut crease at the front. This is quite a pinky red, which it's a pretty shade, but I would just prefer it if it was more red. I don't know if you can see what I mean. It's definitely got a pinkiness to that shade. That concealer is creasing really badly, so that probably wasn't a good idea as a base. The brush I'm using here is a Morphe E18. It's got like a flat top to it, so it's good for packing like this because you can just basically stump it on to really get the colour. I'm going to take this all the way, but I'm just working slowly just to build that colour up and make sure that it's super vivid. It is a pretty tone, but it's more pink than it is red. Right, now I've placed that down, I'm going to blend that with a clean brush, no additional product. It's a Morphe 433, but any fluffy brush really. You can see where I'm blending that out, I'm definitely getting a pink rather than a red there. And I wanted a red, so I'm going to dip into Walk in My Shoes, which is the yellow shade. Get rid of that pink edge and turn it back a bit more. Red orange vibe there. I'm not really a fan of this Walk in My Shoes shade, it's not really vibrant enough for me, but for kind of blending on the edges shade, it does work quite well, and maybe that's its purpose for the palette really. I've lost that intensity for that red, so I'm going to go back in and build that up again. As I say, it's a lovely pigmented shade, but it's just a little bit pinker than I like my reds to be. I do like how that Walk in My Shoes shade is blending that edge out though. It looks a nice fade to that, looks pretty. I'm going to take a Sigma E25 and the shade Nonconformist. I'm going to start building that up in my inner corner and lower lash line. And just where that purple is meeting the red, I'm just trying to make sure I get a little bit of a blend in that outer corner. I don't like that concealer as a base because it's creasing really badly, but I do like it because it's making the colours really intense. I think the NYX Jumbo pencil is way better actually. So at this outer corner I'm just doing light pressure, circular motions, because I don't want to take that purple up too high, but I don't want it to just sort of stop on the lid either. I might need to take a bit of the red just to get that to blend nicely. I've got another E25, got a few of these. Love this brush. I'm just going into that Can't Compare the red just to help with that blend there and just bring it down a little bit. And just back into Nonconformist just to really make sure it's nice and deep on that lid there. I think we've got the best blend I can achieve anyway. Now I want to bring that down onto the lower lash line, so I'm just tipping the brush onto its sort of pinch top to it and bringing that down. And then back into the brush that we were using, the red on, and I'm just going to further blend just slightly underneath there. Notice I'm only going to about halfway on my lower lash line. And I've done that deliberately because I want to put a shimmer in the front part there. I love how the blend there is giving us a lot more of a sort of pinky purple. Clean brush and just a bit of that Walk in My Shoes shade. I just want to just make sure that we've got a perfect a blend as I can get it just on this outer corner. And then I'm going to do a cut crease today in the traditional way with concealer. This is a Conceal and Define concealer by Revolution, and I'm going to cut it kind of, as I say, a little bit open on the front there. I'm using my cut crease brush from Sigma. What else? This is the easiest way for me to do it if I'm doing it with concealer. Just follow the line of the brush then. So I want it to, as I say, start higher than like my eyelid crease. The creases are cut. Going to go in with Rare Treasure now and just fill in the whole of that space, and before I do that I'm just going to tap out that concealer just over that matte. That'll help with the blender. Some beautiful creamy shimmer that's going on really nicely. Just wrapping that shimmer just around in my inner corner, just slightly there, so that it can meet up with a little bit of shimmer that I want to put in the bottom. And then in this little section that we've left there, I'm going to use Unapologetic. I'm going to spray that because I've not got any primer really there or glitter glue there. Just taking a bit more of that gold just to blend with that pink in the inner corner. Okay, that's a look to this point. Just going to hop off camera, just do some finishing touches, and I'll be back with you to show you the finished look. Okay guys, so here's the finished look for this one. I really love how this one came out. I really do. I think it just, the whole blend of that red to purple just really works, and then the gold on the lid's just really stunning. I didn't expect it to come out kind of like this when I started it, and quite often that's what happens, and it just like really surprises me about makeup sometimes, just the looks that you can achieve just by playing, and that's all I've really been doing with this one. So yeah, really like this one. So in my waterline I've gone with Ori Flash from Linda Hallberg, because I wanted to echo that gold that's on my lid, and it's almost pretty much the same shade, so it did that really well. And then on my lips I've gone with a combo. I've got the 24/7 lip liner pencil by Urban Decay in the shade Cruel all over my lips as a base, and then I've got Jeffree Star's Wet Peach Gloss over the top, because I like gloss but I never feel like it's opaque enough for me and like colourful enough, so that's a way to get some use out of my glosses. And I think it's quite a lot going on the eyes. I did think about using a purple lipstick or a red, and then I thought no, I'll keep it toned down-ish for me. But yeah, I really love how this one turned out. I hope you like it too. Let's move on to look number 3. Okay, for the third look I've already gone in and primed using the NARS Complete Matte Concealer in Chantilly. Found that worked really well as a base for the first look, so I'm going to do that again. I think it worked a lot better than the KVD concealer in any case. And I want to do something a little bit neutral, which sounds crazy with a palette as colourful as this, I suppose. But sticking sort of with the oranges and yellows and golds, and I'm going to bring some black eyeliner into the mix as well. I'm going to stay clear of sort of more of the colours that I've already used in other looks, and try and focus more, as I say, on the sort of oranges, yellows and golds. So that's what we're going to do for today's look. So I'm going to start the look with Wallflower, and I'm just going to have a nice soft wash of that, but not going too high. I want to keep this look quite controlled and not too crazy today. So I'm going to start first of all building up like the shape in the outer corner. This orange is really nice, really pigmented, really bright and easy to work with. I really like the orange shade in this palette. I like it far more than the red. I think the red isn't a true red, and it's got quite a bit of pink in it, whereas this orange is truly orange, really beautiful. The brush I'm using here is a Morphe 321 because it's like a bullet shaped brush, so quite precise but still a little bit fluffy to help with the diffusion of the product as such. I like the shape there. We've got a sort of a V shape, I suppose, like, but not a wing, so working out quite nicely, I think, and I'm keeping it nice and low, as I say. And then as we move towards the more inner part of my crease, I'm going to go in with the yellow, so Walk in My Shoes. And this is not my favourite yellow in the world, but I thought I'll try and give it its moment to shine just in this inner corner, because I've used it really as a blending out shade previously, so I'm going to try and really pack it down and see if I can get some payoff from it. But as you can probably see, it's not really doing it for me. It's yeah, it's not the most pigmented yellow ever. It's a warm yellow, so it's an unusual shade for my collection. I'm using a Morphe 506 here because I wanted to be able to blend as I go. Getting there if I keep building it, but it's not as I say my favourite. Just going to diffuse everywhere we've laid colour down now, just really to soften that blend a little bit. Next I'm going to go in on my lower lash line. I'm going to use the Bad Girl Bang eyeliner pencil. Got this one free in a little set. Going to try it out. It's called Pitch Black, the shade, which is, I'm wanting a black pitch black, so I think this might work. I'm going to take this in my waterliner and a little bit onto my lower lash line. And then I'm going to smudge that out before it sets down too much, just smudge that out on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take a little bit of NYX glitter primer and apply that over the top of that black liner as a base, because we're going to use some gold, that Rare Treasure shade that's in the palette, underneath there. So then we're going to go into Rare Treasure. I've got a pencil brush here and we're just going to apply that all over that glitter glue on the lower lash line. I'm going to pounce a bit more glitter glue all over my lids, not a cut crease, just haphazardly over my lids. So on the majority of my lids I'm going to use Rare Treasure, but I'm also going to use this, just a touch of this in my inner corner. Where that shimmer shade meets the matte, I'm just going to blend just slightly there. Just going to take a bit of the Wallflower shade, just the orange, to help us achieve that. And then just going into that green, that outside the box, we're going to just take that, as I say, just in that tiny little area of my lid and just wrap it around there. To give us a little bit more wow factor in the inner corner, I'm going to go in with Laser Glazer from Kaleidos Makeup, just over the top of that, just to give us a little bit of extra sparkle. Okay, just going to jump off camera for the finishing touches and I'll be back with you to show you look number 3. Okay guys, so here's the finished look. So I've just gone with a little bit of a baby wing using the NYX Epic Ink liner, Bad Girl Bang mascara, and then I finished off with Triggered by Jeffree Star, one of the Velour liquid lips. Just wanted a nice dramatic lip because the eyes are pretty neutral for me. Although they didn't turn out as neutral as maybe I expected. I think that pop of green just sort of brought things to life, but I really like how it looks. And I like that I kept things slightly lower as well, which, you know, I tend to go all the way up to my brows quite often. So I think this one's a little bit more wearable for some, I think. So let's just round up my thoughts on the palette then. So I had a little bit of trouble thinking up some looks with this one, I'm not going to lie, and that's normally not an issue for me, but I think the problem for me, and it's not really a problem as such, but why I couldn't get so many looks out of it, is that you've either got a sort of purpley pink crease or you've got an orange and red crease. And I think, because I don't use pressed glitters, that shade was kind of wasted for me. It looks beautiful when you look at the palette as a whole, but I'm just so scared to wear them because they're not eye safe. Any sort of glitter isn't really eye safe. And I've had issues with getting glitter in my eyes before, and if you have, you don't want to go there again. So I just won't use that. If that was like a tealy kind of coloured matte, I think I would have been a lot happier, because that would have paired really well with the shimmery shades, because the shimmery shades are all sort of in the blue and green, apart from this super vivid bright pink there. But I felt like I got nothing really to go with them other than like pinks or oranges. So, and what it does do really well though is like that sunset vibe, you know, going from sort of a purple right through sort of the spectrum of pinks and oranges and reds. In my second look, I think I demonstrated that, and that shade, Nonconformist, was a really lovely deepening up shade and really quite dark, which I like, a nice dark matte. So I think the light to dark is there. That shade is disappointing, Walking My Shoes. I would love if that was a bit more vivid, or that would show up a little bit more. It's great as a blending shade for other shades, and it is kind of showing in my look, but I really had to work at that to like get that to show. And I said before that the Can't Compare shade is a little bit of a pinky red. It looks like it'd be a true red in the pan, but it isn't a true red. And I think it's a little bit too similar to Class Clown as well. But love the orange. So Wallflower is probably one of my favourites. Outside of the box I've used in my first impressions, and I still think it's such a stunning shade. fact, all of the shimmers are really super foil, super high quality, work really well over NYX Glitter Primer, probably better than they did over the concealer when I did the cut crease. But either way, they show really vividly. The mattes are easy to blend, really high quality, and you're getting 12 shades. If you like glitter, I know a lot of people do love glitter, and it's nice to have that in there if you do like it. As I say, just for me, would have preferred to not have that. But for £20 to get a palette of this quality with 12 shades in it, with a mirror, with nice packaging, overall it's, you know, a really, really solid purchase, really nice palette. As I say, if you're a YouTuber and you're looking to do 3 looks to kind of make things very different, then I kind of struggled. And I don't know if I've just like lost my like inspiration just lately, but I kept looking at it and I was swatching colours out and I was like, I don't know what to put with what to do different kinds of looks with it. So I hope I've managed to achieve that in the end, but I didn't find it as easy as like I sometimes do. And I think, as I say, it's just that combination of mattes leans very much towards that sunset kind of vibe, and you get a similar kind of look, you know, whichever way you go, because you're either going to get that sort of pinky purple crease or an orangey red crease. And I think the crease colour that you lay down defines like the rest of the look. It certainly does for me. So mixed feelings about the palette. I think you can get probably 4 or 5 different looks out of it. I've managed to get 4 so far. There's probably another I could achieve out of it that perhaps we'll do in the future. I didn't do any halo eyes, for example. You could do beautiful halo eyes with this, with the gold in the centre, and, you know, starting really dark with the purples on each side and coming in with the reds and oranges. I think that would look beautiful, but I've done halo eyes a lot, so I just wanted to do something different. But I hope you enjoyed seeing the 3 looks and got a little bit of inspiration from them. Even if you don't own the palette, you've probably got similar shades in your collection that you could do something similar with. But if you decide to pick it up, I don't think you'll be disappointed in it. As I say, because the quality is really, really nice. So you'll have to let me know, guys, which was your favourite. I think number 3 is my favourite. I do like how all 3 came out though, and I like that they're all quite different to one another. So yeah, I'd like to know which one that you preferred and whether you would recreate any of them. I'm always super interested to know that. But thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to my channel already and you want to be, then I'd love to have you. Other than that, guys, take care of yourselves. Hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.